One coach on the staff that we absolutely know that was great at something was Robert Saleh in defense. Like, they shut the Vikings down. So you can say what you want. That's the one thing we know. Saleh can motivate and Saleh can coach defense. He's out the door. I don't think Woody Johnson just winged it and sprung it on Aaron Rodgers. Do you?
Well, listen, Coach Mangini, who, has some experience with the Jets and with Woody Johnson, told us, I thought it was really interesting, on Friday, might have been Thursday or Friday, he said, don't underestimate how important this specific game is for Woody, who, of course, was the ambassador to England, has friends in London, colleagues in London. They're going to be at the game, and he said if the Jets come out and look bad in that game, that could hasten Saleh's departure, and that is exactly what ended up happening. Now, I want to make this clear. I don't think Robert Saleh is a good NFL coach, and it is not surprising to me that he is the first coach fired. But I do think it is a sign of two larger issues. One is an incompetent organization. Because if Robert Saleh's fireable at 2-3, then you can't bring him back going into the season when a guy like Mike Vrabel's available, or you could make a run at Belichick if you could get aside the hurt feelings about what happened with the Jets or something. If he can't make it through 5 games, then he shouldn't have been brought back. And then the other problem, of course, is that well, you didn't actually fire the head coach because that's evidently Aaron Rodgers. Because if there was of the list of people who should be accountable for this Jets season going the way some of us saw it going, his buddy, the offensive coordinator, are far higher on the list than the defensive coordinator turned head coach Robert Saleh. But we all know Nat Hackett's unfireable for reasons of, well, Aaron likes him. Is he good at his job? Doesn't seem like it. Does Aaron play better with him? There's no evidence of that. But Aaron likes him, so he's unfireable. And so I think the Jets are a poorly run franchise. I don't love the ownership. I don't love the front office. I don't love the coaching staff. And organizations like that empower and embolden Aaron Rodgers to do what he wants when it's because, oh, he's such a great player. Is he? The last time Aaron Rodgers was a great player, Mac Jones was a Pro Bowler. This doesn't last forever. And his final year in Green Bay, he was average. And this year, he's been roughly the 24th or 25th best quarterback in football. But some people can't get over the fact that, oh, man, he still throws a pretty ball. So does Dan Marino. Yeah. But he wouldn't be able to play at his age. So I think the Jets are in real trouble, but I've thought that all year long.
So something that you and I were in agreement with, although I have come around that he's more athletic than I gave him credit for, is that if you really look at what separates the great quarterbacks and the competent ones, throwing when everybody knows you're throwing. So if you look at Brock Purdy leading and Brock Purdy trailing in the fourth, it's not that it's disappointing. It drops off a cliff. Absolutely drops off a cliff. So Mahomes can't, Mahomes is the standard, and nobody's Mahomes, so let's not. But I went this morning and I looked at Kirk Cousins, leading or tied. His passer rating and his completion percentage, Kirk goes from great leading to solid trailing. Baker Mayfield, when he's leading, he completes 58%. When he's trailing, he actually completes 61%, and his passer rating is better when he's trailing. So Baker's better trailing than leading in the fourth. Literally, Purdy, bad weather, it's a little sloppy, doesn't have a run game, trailing, falls off a cliff. And does that, and by the way, that's called playoff football. You could take a bow on this because you were on this.
The fact that they were, listen, they were the #1 red zone team in the league last year. And folks beat me over the head saying, why won't you give Brock Purdy credit? Why do you disrespect Brock Purdy? And I just said, listen, I'm not going to act like he is not playing well, but I'm also not going to lie and say I think he is the reason the Niners are having such success. He has all the same people except Christian McCaffrey, who scored a touchdown in literally every game he played as a Niner, it seemed like, is gone, and now they're not good in the red zone. Brock Purdy this summer said what he wanted to do to take his game to the next level was the Tom Brady effect of when we have a lead late to really seize control of the game and to not, turn a 1-score game into a 2- and 3-score game. Well, what that's turned into is turning a 1- or 2-score lead into losses. As since the Super Bowl, they were under Brock Purdy, since he had been there, prior to the Super Bowl, 19 games they led by double digits. They were 18-1. From the Super Bowl to now, 5 games they have led by double digits. They are 2-3. Like, there are some real, listen, he is a better player than a 7th-round pick quarterback should be. That is obvious. He is a legitimate starter in this league, which I was skeptical of at the beginning. That at this point is obvious. But he was top 5 MVP voting last year. People are already saying, well, the Niners have to plan to pay the guy $60 million.
Ugh.
And my question to that is, do they? And is that smart? Because I think Brock Purdy has overachieved and has proven my initial kind of caustic skepticism wrong. Is he a definitive top 12 quarterback in football? I don't think so. And I think that you are seeing some of those potential weaknesses in his overall physical skill set show up in some of these spots.
So I want to go back. I said earlier, probably the 2 coaches that are best served for the Jets long-term are Vrabel and Belichick, especially if Bill doesn't touch personnel. So now I think the interim guy, like a substitute teacher, everybody falls in love with him. And if he reels off some wins, I wouldn't be surprised if he got it. I really wouldn't. I mean, the Niners like him. He's a former player. I wouldn't be shocked. And by the way, their best players are on defense. I could make the argument if he just replaced Nat Hackett, Saleh could have kept his job. They'd be competent. But that's, neither here nor there now.
I don't think Aaron let him.
Right. So my take is Belichick, Vrabel, right. But here's what's interesting, Nick. Cincinnati, Jacksonville, Dallas, Chicago, Philadelphia, five legit quarterbacks could need a coach. Last year, there was one good opening, the one with Justin Herbert. So let me ask you, with that said, let's say 2 of those jobs come open, a Caleb Williams, a Trevor Lawrence. Is this a great job in that job market, the Jets?
Are the Jets a great job?
Yeah.
And there's no job market where the Jets are a great job. It's guys, there's none of those jobs come open, and the only jobs that come open are Cleveland, Carolina, and let me pick another, and New Orleans. The Jets still aren't a good job. What, guys, I don't want to do I told you so, but I told you so. And the delusion. All offseason, Colin, you know what I heard?
What?
Let's go through the list. Oh, my God. You don't think Breece Hall is one of the 2 or 3 best running backs in football? I don't know, man. I know that he was awesome for a few games his rookie year, blew out his knee last year in the final game of the season. They did everything they could to get him 1,000 yards, had him rush 38 times. They still couldn't get it there because they couldn't do the math. And this year, the last couple games, he's 1 yard per carry. So let's put that as a question mark. You don't think Garrett Wilson's a top 5 receiver? No. You know who else doesn't? Aaron Rodgers, who wouldn't even target him regularly until this last game. Do I think he's good? Yes. Do I think there are a dozen teams with a receiver as good as Garrett Wilson? Yes. You don't think the Jets are going to have a massive upgrade at quarterback? Why? Because the 41-year-old part-time politician, part-time conspiracy theorist coming off an Achilles rupture who wasn't that good the last year he played is going to come save the day? No, I don't think they're going to be great. If you take over the Jets, what you have is a meddling owner, maybe a new front office, or if it's the same front office, a GM who has sworn, this is the year I fix the offensive line for 6 consecutive years, a nice running back, a really nice wide receiver, and 3 outstanding defensive players. Okay, congratulations. You just took over the 29th best situation in the 32-team league. So I don't think it's a good job in any job market, certainly not the one you're describing.
The Royals in Kansas City. That is a job.
No, but man, Q's not going anywhere. You get to coach Bobby Witt Jr. for the next decade. Man, Witt and Judge, oh my goodness. Can you imagine, Colin, the ratings bonanza for Fox when in the World Series it's Shohei Ohtani against Bobby Baseball? I know Fox probably like, Yankees, Dodgers would be pretty good. I'm here to tell you Royals, Dodgers going to do numbers. Oh boy, I can't wait.
They'll do numbers in your house. I'm not sure if they'll definitely be watched in your house. Good.